Joe McCone, Mayor of Corpus Christi. Rebecca Myers is our interpreter for the deaf. We wanted to make sure that we have someone representing that segment of our community so that we can make sure that we communicate with as many people as possible in our community and keep them informed as we can. We want to thank you for coming. I'd like to kind of lay the format of the press conference today. I'm going to ask Judge Neal, Nueces County Judge, to make some comments concerning the county overall and what the status of that is. And then I'll make some comments, and then we'll ask the city manager to give you some additional comments. The chief of police, the fire chief, and our emergency management operations manager is here for some questions and answers. And so at this time, I'd like to call on Judge Neal to give you an update from the county's perspective. And from his perspective, he's very well experienced in this, and we're just fortunate to have him in the position that he's in, particularly in times like these. Judge Neal.
Thank you, Mayor. This morning, I just left the fairgrounds. I met with the mayor of Robstown and the police chief and the fire chief over there. We have shut down all evacuation operations in the fairgrounds, so we've turned the buses loose. They've done a great job, both here in the city and in the western part of the county. We reacted very quickly and very well across the board. Our EOC is still open. We have a briefing at 3 o'clock. We'll get the 4 o'clock weather report, and then we'll see where we go from there. I want to again compliment all the mayors in Nueces County. We've had a great cooperative effort this time. Every mayor has done exactly what they're supposed to do. We've kept the lines of communication open. My staff and our EOC's done a great job. Your EOC here at the city is doing a great job. The people of Corpus Christi and Nueces County are very well served right now. I had a call this morning from Senator Cruz. I had a call yesterday afternoon from Senator Cornyn. Both of them pledged the assets of the federal government to whatever we need. They have FEMA on the road. So Joe, as we figure out exactly where we are, both United States senators have expressed to me personally that whatever we need, give them a call. And I happen to have a cell phone number, which I am not going to give to anybody, but we can get hold of both our senators, and they're pledging the full support of the federal government for Nueces County. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Judge. I do want to thank the citizens of Corpus Christi for their positive reaction in taking action towards the storm. I think they heeded our warning and encouragement to get out of the low-lying areas. We've had a considerable number of people that have evacuated on a voluntary basis, and they appreciated the notice, and we continue to watch things as we have here. Citizens also took advantage of the fact that our solid waste operations remained open late a couple of days prior to today, and had over 1,500 customers bringing out bulk trash that was at their homes, whether it be branches or whatever they were cleaning out of their garage, but to get them off of the streets so that they wouldn't be projectiles in case the wind got to that volume. And so we appreciate the citizens' cooperation and the solid waste department participating in that. Let me address one rumor that I don't know where it came from, but the rumor's out there that the city has cut off people's water. We have not cut off the water. And unless it's a reaction to what happens in the storm, services will continue as normal. So if you hear that rumor, just tell them it's not the truth. We're prepared. At this time, I'd like to call on City Manager Margie Rose to bring you up to date on other activities here in the city, and then we'll open it up for some questions and answers. I'll make a few brief comments, and then we'll let y'all get back to standing out in the rain, taking pictures, and doing whatever you do out there on reporting hurricanes. So, Ms. Rose.
Good afternoon. So some additional city operational items. City Hall will be closing, or it's afternoon. The goal is to close City Hall at noon today. In terms of the international airport, all of the airlines have canceled flights for the rest of the day. Both Southwest and United Airlines have no scheduled flights until Monday. And American Airlines plans to resume service, if available, on Saturday. But always check your airline for the most up-to-date information. All of our senior centers and recreation centers are closed today and throughout the weekend. I need to say a little about our call center. We have begun a 24-hour, 7-day operations with our call center, and please note that this is our non-emergency number, and this is the call center where citizens call 826-CITY or 826-2489. We are beginning the 24/7 operation. We would like to encourage citizens to be our eyes and ears throughout the city. And again, they can call 826-2489 or 826-CITY. And this is a reminder, again, that this is a non-emergency line for city-related information as the storm passes and we encounter issues within the city. We need them, the citizens, to be our eyes and ears to let us know what's going on. We think that it's going to be very critical to have this 24/7 operations with our call center because citizens generally let us know if there are some concerns, and we definitely would like them to help us through this process as the storm passes. Now I would like to turn it back over to the mayor.
Again, we want to thank our citizens for their very positive response. And from the calls that I've gotten, and you heard the judge, the whole country is watching us. There are being prayers offered for our community from all across the country. But it also, I think, is going to be able to spotlight the amount of preparation that has gone into events such as this. Our fire chief, our police chief, our emergency management operations, both at the city and the county level. I think when it's all said and done, we may be the benchmark for emergency preparedness for storms such as this. They've done an excellent job. We couldn't be prouder of them, and we're just, they're, game on. And so we're looking forward to having a very good, positive result of this storm, and we'll get through this, and we'll be better for it because the community is pulled together. Again, we encourage those in the low-lying areas, if you've been a little hesitant to get out, to go ahead and do that now. Let me encourage you, not just because I'm your mayor, but from a personal commitment to your public safety. If you understand what water can do when it's rising fast and moving, it can be deadly. So I would encourage you to avoid all those areas. Don't try to go through a low water crossing. You may think you can get through it, but you may not, and the results will not be good. So please continue to pay attention to warnings, both on whatever you hear on the television in terms of warnings, and also from those that are in the official position to give you the information that you need. We want to thank you, the media, for showing up and getting the word out to people so that we, again, protection of public property and people's lives are our main function. People's lives are our main function. Property is our number 2 at this point. Again, my congratulations and appreciation to the staff. Many of them who you never see and you'll never hear of, but that have been working diligently for a long time to get us through this. As it says, joy will come in the morning, and we'll get through this, and we'll be better for it. And we're looking forward to getting back to normal once this storm passes. But while you're at your homes, sitting there watching on television, doing whatever you're doing while you're hunkered down during the storm, I would encourage you to offer a little prayer too for our public responders, emergency responders, because they're out there in the height of this thing, laying their lives on the line, and we don't want to put them in jeopardy. And the best thing we could have is the fact that they go through the whole storm and not get a call, because they've got families that they're thinking about and being with, but they're willing to step out and help. And so we want everybody to remain safe and stay calm. We'll take some questions, and I know one of the questions is this going to be our last press briefing? And I'll let the city manager address that one, but again, if you've got some questions, I'll direct them to the people that can answer them.
What's the threshold at which? So know that we are in an advanced level of our all hazards plans right now, so we're staged and ready to respond to pretty much anything, but we will reduce our responses in stages. For instance, the island is just about to experience tropical force winds, I'm being told. So when a threshold becomes unsafe for our officers to respond in their vehicles, then those areas that are experiencing high winds or whatever conditions that makes it unsafe for our first responders, then we will contract, and that area will not be serviced with public safety any longer. No, we're looking at the 55 to 65 mile an hour per wind range, but conditions apply. So as we look at all the conditions that will impact those first responders, we'll evaluate whether we can make those calls for service, and you know, lives are primary. We have to protect our personnel. We have to protect our assets so that we are able to respond and restore services and reach out to those folks who need help after the event is over.
Thank you, Chief. Very same thresholds. We've already began to take some of the action. As you know, there is a fire station on Mustang Island, fire station number 16. We have begun to move some of those assets to a safer location. We're currently evaluating the status of fire station 15, which is on Padre Island, to see whether or not we're going to have to evacuate that one also. But I want to reiterate what the chief said and what the mayor said. Public safety, the lives of our residents is primary, but as the chiefs of the police department and the fire department, we have to protect the lives of our first responders. Thank you.
I don't. Does anybody have any idea? I don't think there's any way to tell. I know there was a lot of traffic, from what I understand, leaving town. And that could have been people not necessarily in the low-lying areas. There's a lot of people that left town just because they had the option to do it. There was nothing forcing them to stay here. So I can't differentiate between the total people that left versus those in the low-lying areas. But I understand that's been a very positive response from those areas, and but I can't answer that question. Right. No, I think we made the right decision, and that was after a lot of conversation, a lot of dialogue between the chiefs, emergency management, the judge, city manager, and myself. They're the professionals. I was the messenger, and even though it comes down to the judge or the mayor having that authority, it's all based on the information that we were given, and we felt like we made the right decision. And people, I think, paid attention to what we were saying, and people made the right decision if they wanted to leave, and I think they did. There'll be some that have stayed. But I think when it's all said and done, we made the right decision, and I think time will prove us right. I hope it does. Yes, ma'am. Oh, go ahead.
Mayor, what did you... All right.
Well, the chief is saying that Texas Department of Texas Department of Highway, Texas Department of Transportation. That's their road, and they'll be in charge of that. Of course, they'll coordinate with the chief, obviously, but the Texas Dot will be making that decision. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. The juvenile detention center is staying open. They're self-independent. They have their own food supply. I got Homer call me yesterday and got an okay to remain independently open, so he's in charge of that, and I have full faith that he'll do that the correct way. They have fewer than 20 people over there right now that are being detained, plus their staff, but they're fully equipped and know exactly what they're doing, so that's in fine. I will not comment on the jail at this time, but I will tell you that the sheriff is fully in charge of making sure that the prisoners at both the annex and the jail are safe and secure, and by late afternoon, we should have that situation well in hand. But I would like to say one more thing, if I may. One of the things that you get when you get old is experience. In 1970, Hurricane Celia blew through here. And I want to tell the people of this community that the greatest asset that they can have for the next 3 or 4 days is patience. Because this storm is not going to play out overnight. In fact, AEP told us this morning that when the power goes off, you can expect it to be off, depending on where you are in the city of Corpus Christi and in Nueces County, 3 to 7 days. So 48 hours is going to seem like an eternity without power, and I can only ask, and I'm sure the mayor feels the same way, please be patient. There will be crews on the ground. They're going to get power back to us as quickly as they can. But when it goes off, because of this rain event, it's going to create some really difficult times for the AEP people to get in here and get power restored. So plan for it to be off 48 hours or longer, please. And then be a little bit patient. Fry those wieners today and eat them for 3 days. But seriously, this is a time for this community to come together, the city and the county, and all of us to come together and say, it's time for us to just take a deep breath and let's let people do their job, and then we'll get the city and the county back as quickly as we can. Thank you. The governor has ordered 700 troops. They will be coming into this area when he deploys them. We have the Texas State Guard already on site at the fairgrounds. They have a contingency there, and they're working with us at the present time. But the Texas National Guard that's going to be mobilized by the governor is being mobilized at this time, but they have not been deployed yet. And I'm in contact through Chairman Hunter to ask the governor when he thinks that will happen. The governor would like to see this happen as quickly as it's safe. And then that may be 24 hours or whenever it is. Are you asking me about the weather? I am. I've got a lot of numbers in my file, but I don't have the weather file. I have no idea. Right now, the last that we saw at the 10 o'clock weather alert, was it's still coming east of Corpus Christi between Corpus Christi and Rockport. I haven't seen anything later.
And Judge, I wanted to ask you, just a few moments
Yeah.
ago, you've been around here for a little
Yeah.
I wonder what.
It's serious. Anybody who's seen this storm out in the Gulf, you can tell it's a big one. The wind now is approaching 115 miles an hour. If you're not out of town, you better be hunkered down pretty quickly. The rain event is what bothers me. I don't know about these guys. We can deal with the wind because it'll pass through pretty quickly and we can do our evaluation of what the damage is. The rain event, if it lasts like they say it's going to last, is going to cause an immense amount of flooding. And when you have flooding, it's very difficult to get out and really do a good damage estimate. So it's serious. People need to take it seriously. This is a big storm, and we don't want to have the kind of results that we saw when the storm hit New Orleans. Yeah. Oh, you're asking the wrong guy. I went out of office in 1995, but no, seriously, there's always a need for better infrastructure. But let me tell you what, I'm so proud of what the city has done and what the county has done and all of us have done in preparing and executing the plan to get ready for this storm. You cannot handle 15 to 40 inches of rain in a 48-hour period without having flooding. And we're just going to have to keep out of it, use common sense. As they say, don't go where you don't belong, and try to help each other stay out of trouble. And if we'll do that, we'll be fine. It's the people who get out in the middle of the rainstorm and try to do things that they're not supposed to do drives these two guys crazy. But I'm proud of what the city and county's done. I think we're going to be there, like the mayor said. We have reacted in a time that I would have told you we couldn't have done. In 3.5 hours, we began to evacuate people. That's unheard of. We had the plan in place, the people in place at the city and the county, and we were moving people in the plan in less than 4 hours. We had buses in the city and the county in less than 10 hours. This is monumental. And everybody who's part of that needs to be thanked. But this city and this county and our emergency people have, in my opinion, done as good a job as anybody could have done and better than most. And the citizens of Corpus Christi, now the fat lady hadn't sung yet. So we're not there yet. But I can tell you the mayor and I and all of the folks standing behind the mayor and all of my people over at the county, they're tired. They're going to get tired more, and we all are, but they have really responded well. And I want to thank you guys for it. You've done a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. One more. Anybody have one more? And we'll. I'm going to call the city manager up to answer that question. I anticipated you asking that, so hold on just a second. But again, thank you very much, and at the conclusion of Mrs. Rose's comments, that will conclude the press conference.
On yesterday, we indicated that there will be a 3 o'clock press conference today. That is canceled. That is not going to happen. However, we know that as the storm progresses, at some point we're going to need to have another press conference. However, due to the weather, we're going to have to take it an hour at a time because we have no idea of what the weather's going to be like. But just stay in touch. I know that it's not hard to find any of you, but stay in touch, and we will make sure that you know when the next press conference is coming. We just can't give you a time at this point due to the weather. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.